I'm Viv Mitchett and welcome to my YouTube channel Viv's Films, where I explore the wonderful craft of acting. Today we'll be learning about the Stanislavski system, which is also known as the system or the Stanislavski method. There is a lot of important content that I will be covering in this episode, so perhaps get out a notebook and take some notes as we go along. So I've prepared a quote from Konstantin Stanislavski, a short biography and a breakdown of his acting technique. Let's begin. To start us off, I have an awesome quote from Konstantin Stanislavski. He said, "The main factor in any form of creativeness is the life of a human spirit, that of the actor and his part, their joint feelings and subconscious creation." So, you're intrigued? Well, if you aren't, then you might need to ask yourself why you're still watching. Let me tell you a little bit about Konstantin Stanislavski. He was a Russian actor and director born into a wealthy family in Moscow in 1863. He began working in theatre from a very young age and continued honing his talents throughout his life. In 1897, he co-founded the Moscow Art Theatre, where he often works with his colleague Anton Chekhov. Most notably, he developed the Stanislavski system during his time at the Moscow Art Theatre, which is also known as the Stanislavski method. From this, modern acting techniques, such as Lee Strasberg's method acting, have developed. In fact, Stanislavski is sometimes called the father of method acting. In 1910, Stanislavski travelled to Italy to learn from Eleonora Duse and Tommaso Salvini, whose style of performance greatly influenced him and his teachings. During his life, Stanislavski became a teacher himself, notably teaching American actress Stella Adler, who went on to create her own acting technique. He published several books, including My Life in Art, An Actor Prepares, Building Character, and Creating a Role. Now that we know more about Stanislavski, it's time to learn about his system. It was created with the aim of enabling actors to portray their characters in a way that was both believable and natural, rather than in an over-the-top manner. Generally, actors will identify what the character's objectives are. This is what they want. What obstacles they face. These are restraining forces and preventions, and what they will do to achieve their objective, which is known as the method. Actors also determine the circumstances of the scene, such as the setting and which characters are present. Remember, objective, obstacle, and method. A good example to try is the character Maggie Pollitt from Tennessee Williams's play Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. So her objective is to inherit money from Big Daddy when he passes away. However, her obstacles are her competing in-laws, May and Gooper, and her disinterested husband, Brick. Her method, so that's how she achieves her objective, is announcing a fake pregnancy and then proceeding to make this lie a reality. So I found several steps online to help actors create a realistic portrayal of a character with the Stanislavski system. Make sure you note this down. First, you must determine who the character is. I believe this encompasses both their life story and personality. Then you determine where the character is in terms of both location and time. Now, getting on to the fun stuff, you determine your character's objective, the reason for that objective, their obstacles, and their method. If you're tired of Maggie, here's an example of these steps with regards to Jay Gatsby, from The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Jay Gatsby is a formerly poor war veteran who has become wealthy through producing and selling bootleg alcohol. He lives in New Money, West Egg, in New York during the Roaring Twenties. His objective is to marry Daisy because he is infatuated with her. Some people will argue that he is in love with her, but I disagree, because their story is very much one-sided. Gatsby's obstacle is Daisy's marriage to Tom Buchanan and her love for him. So Jay Gatsby goes all out in his method. He sells bootleg alcohol to become wealthy. He throws weekly parties in the hopes that she will show up to one. He befriends Daisy's friend Jordan Baker and her cousin Nick Carraway. Moving forward, it's time to discuss the magic if. As mentioned earlier, the Stanislavski method focuses on making an actor's portrayal of a character realistic. One way that this can be achieved is for the actor to consider a what-if scenario, such as if their character's experiences happen to them. The goal of this exercise is to make the actor think and feel like their character, rather than just impersonating them. This is at the very core of method acting. For example, what if my ex started dating my best friend? What if I found myself paralyzed after an accident? What if I had a gambling addiction? Emotional memory is a very important aspect of Stanislavski's system. Basically, the Stanislavski system requires actors to draw on their own emotional memory to help them convey their character's emotions by genuinely experiencing them. For example, an actor playing a grieving character would have to draw on their own memories of grievance, such as crying while attending a funeral, losing a loved one, etc. This applies to all intense emotions, not just grief. Unfortunately, with Stanislavski's system, there isn't a way to bridge the gap of differences between character and actor. For example, if I were to play Maggie Pollitt from Cat in a Hot Tin Roof, I would be completely lost. I'd be able to imitate her, sure, but I would not be able to play her as well as I could play another character. Here are a few examples of the differences between us. First, Maggie has lived below the poverty line, where I, fortunately, have not. Second, Maggie Pollitt is in a failing relationship with her husband, Brick, but I've never been in a relationship. Third, she wants to have children, whereas I'm not interested in that now, or maybe not at all. This important issue is addressed in Lee Strasberg's method acting. Thank you for listening. I found this really interesting and can't wait to continue with my technique study series. Stay tuned for my next episode about Lee Strasberg's method acting. Bye!